What are you doing?
Looking at my paperwork.
Why? I'm talking.
Just I gotta take care of myself. I'm sorry. Trying to be an advocate. I'm trying to take care of my. Go ahead, speak.
Cause number 24 DCCR 0757. It's like a skull with a dagger going through it. And no love for my ops. I know there's probably a meaning, but I don't know because I'm not cool enough. But I probably don't want to know. Are you Christopher Hagan? So, Mr. Hagan, have you been to the doctor for whatever's going on? You obviously look like you're in bad shape.
Yes, ma'am.
For what? What's wrong?
It's too much for me to sit here and talk to you about.
No, you're going to tell me. I want to know what's going on.
My whole body's destroyed, man.
Why? What happened?
My back's been broken several times. My neck, too. All my joints and everything are all ripped apart. And a police officer tried to kill me. He handcuffed me and ripped me off the ground and chained my handcuffs after and tried to break my ribs and puncture my lungs.
So are you under doctor's care? What's the announcement?
Your Honor, I was gonna ask for more time to get with Mr. Hagan. I do have discovering videos that I need him to review the videos. And so I've been in conversation with him regarding his case, but I would like to review the videos with him.
So, Mr. Hagan, a couple things. I'm going to reset your case one more time. I need, obviously, there's some issues going on. Two things. I need some medical documentation that you need to get. Look at me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking at you.
Well, you are now because I had to tell you to. What are you doing?
Looking at my paperwork.
Why? I'm talking.
Just I gotta take care of myself. I'm sorry. Trying to be an advocate. I'm trying to take care of my. Go ahead, speak.
What do you have in your system today?
I need to go to the car and take my medication. It has been since like 6 something this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you taking?
Gabapentin, Tylenol 4s, tizanidine, meloxicam, hydroxyzine.
Do you have prescriptions for all of that?
Yeah, and a couple more.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reset your case. And you need to make an appointment and you need to go see Miss Holmes. Mm-hmm. You have to go see her so she can go over. I understand you have some medical issues, but you also have a felony case pending that we have to deal with. Mm-hmm. So you need to make an appointment with Miss Holmes, go see her, go review all of that. I want you to bring your prescription copies of the prescriptions to Miss Holmes so that she can get those to me before your next court date. Any documentation you have from doctors, from the pharmacy, wherever you get that, I want prescriptions. If you come back and you haven't done that and I test you and you test positive for any of those things and you don't have a prescription for them, then we're going to have a problem. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll see you back in 30 days.
And Judge, just so the court is aware, Ms. Holmes has come to my office several times and visited about his case and is very aggressively advocating on his behalf.
So, Mr. Hagan, you need to visit with Miss Holmes. She's here to help you. It sounds like she's doing everything she can, but you have to visit with her about that so that y'all know how to move forward with your case. Okay. All right. You're free to go. Ms. Holmes, you have Devontae Savoy, cause numbers 23 DCCR 1794 and 23 DCCR 2038. All right, sir, you're Otis Wilson.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Wilson, you're currently on probation for the offense of escape while arrested or confined. And I received an administrative hearing from Ms. Jones asking, for a judicial review. So let me remind myself of this just a second. Looks like you were placed on probation back in October of 2020. And the allegations are that you haven't been reporting online for July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. That's last year and then January of this year. That you failed to gain permission to leave the county and that you thought it was a great idea to go to the topless Jeep party in Galveston, May 19th. And you haven't done your community service. You were out past curfew. You haven't gotten your GED since 2020, and you're behind on your fees. And you've already been to ISF, the substance and the cognitive tracks, right? then why would you be making these decisions?
I just recently transferred from Dallas back to here to Beaumont
Mhm.
due to family reasons or whatever. And I'm basically kind of restarting over here back in Beaumont, kind of Port Arthur. I had my thing kind of going when I was in Dallas. I was working, and had surgery. I just had 2 twins in January, so I had it going out there. And then through the transformation, I would have to kind of rebuild everything again. Also remaining to continue my stipulations also. So since I came here, I've kind of like lost car, transportation. And I have to currently live with my niece instead of my own house. And been separated from my family due to, like I said, family issues and everything. So just due to my movement from Dallas to here, I have to rebuild.
So, in all of those things make sense for some of this. None of those things make sense for why you were out drinking and partying on the beach. Right? After going to ISF and getting the tools to stay sober and to make better decisions.
Correct.
Since he's been back, Ms. Jones, how's some of the other stuff going?
He unfortunately tested positive for alcohol again on Monday. And I really got on him about that. We had a long discussion. As you stated, he has the skills and the tools, but they have to be applied. And that is what I'm preaching to him, that you can't continue to make poor decisions and think you're gonna remain on probation. He has returned. He's in a situation that's not ideal as far as living arrangements due to situations that occurred in the family. He secured a job, is what he told me, at McDonald's, and starts today. He is assigned to community service, so he can start doing that. He has the desire to remain on probation, but the action has to.
Yeah, I mean, you could want to be on, I mean, surely you have the desire to stay on probation because I could send you to prison for 10 years. 10 years.
And we, otherwise, that's not our goal. We
No.
want to try to help.
Nobody wants, no, I mean, I don't want to do, I never want to do that to anyone. But the desires have to, the actions have to follow the desires.
Also, I wrote this about too.
You did?
You did
Yes,
tell me
ma'am.
that.
I sent it.
I
She
didn't
sent
get
the
it.
email.
I didn't get it this morning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Suggestions?
Since he is back in Jefferson County, he will have to report directly to us. He was in Dallas County previously, so that supervision has been returned.
Okay.
I've seen him twice since he's been back, and I feel he needs to have another substance abuse assessment.
Mm-hmm.
He completed ISF in 2022,
Okay.
so we need to see what needs to be done as far as the substance, because he's dealing with his stress with drinking.
Right. Clear.
It's gonna
Well,
need
and it
to
sounds like,
happen.
I mean, I don't know, obviously the specifics are, but it sounds like you've probably shared with Ms. Jones and there's some things that have gone on but everybody has things that go on sometimes in their lives and their families. And you have to deal with those things in a way other than alcohol or drugs or anything like that. So it sounds like what we'll do is get another substance abuse assessment done. If there's any recommendations from that, then you're going to have to follow through with any of those. You're on 0 tolerance starting today. All right. That means you cannot miss an appointment. You cannot leave Jefferson County without my permission or probation's permission. So you're here, you're reporting in person to Ms. Jones, and you're not, I don't know if being on the high medium would be helpful or not, or if I don't want to, I want you to work. I want you to do those things, but you have to really, really step it up and show me that you can do everything you're supposed to be doing on probation. Show Ms. Jones that, like you said, she even said the desire's there, but the follow through has to happen now. If it does not, then it really, unfortunately, won't matter what else is going on in your life or any other family issues. You're going to be back in here. There's going to be a motion to revoke your probation, and you're going to end up in prison instead of being able to be successful on this probation. So We want you to be successful. Take advantage of the tools that you have. They'll help you through probation if you need things. Don't wait till after you get in a bind and then say, hey, I need help. You know, when you start feeling yourself kind of spiraling out, go ahead of time, talk to them. Hey, I need some help. I'm having trouble with a job or a place to live. There's resources to help you. But if you don't take advantage of those things, then there's nothing else that I'll be able to do. Do you understand? Okay. All right. Good luck. Good morning, sir. You're Christopher Cooper. And Mr. Cooper, you were previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the state jail felony offense of possession of a controlled substance. I've received a precedence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Defense has.
I have your.
Any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor, we ask that you follow the recommendation.
Same, Your Honor. Just ask that the court would please consider JCBI and the right choice or HR program for the PSI.
Yeah. So, Mr. Cooper, part of the recommendation is that you, even though you said that you were in trouble for drugs that you didn't do or things like that, the probation department, after they did that substance abuse assessment, said that you would benefit from some type of outpatient treatment. So I'm going to order that as a condition of your probation. It's important that whether you think you need that help or not, that you have to follow all of those rules and complete that program. If you don't, it's going to be a violation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney and defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 5 years. You're ordered to pay a $300 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. That includes that intensive outpatient treatment program through either Right Choice or HR through Spindletop. You'll talk to them, and whatever program they think would best suit you is the one that you'll be required to do. If you follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, this is an excellent opportunity because you don't have a felony conviction on your record. And at the end of the probation, if you successfully complete it, the case is actually dismissed and you'll never have a felony conviction. The other side of that is if you violate any condition of your probation, you can be brought back into court, found guilty of the offense, and sent to prison for up to 2 years. Do you understand? I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. If you'll just have a seat here in the courtroom, probation, she'll call you up when she's ready to go for your paperwork. Good luck to you, sir. See, Mr. Burbank, you have Shakita LaFleur, 23 DCCR 1514. Good morning, ma'am. Are you Shakita LaFleur?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. LaFleur, you're charged with forgery of a financial instrument, a state jail felony. And Mr. Burbank, what's the announcement?
The amount of the alleged loss is $3,200. We have made a tentative deal, which if she could come up with the funds, this amount will go away. She's kind of in between jobs because of this indictment. She works for TBC. So she's still employed, but she's not.
Okay.
So I need some extra time to see how we can try to figure out to come up with the money. Because if she can come up with the money, then she can keep her job. And so I just asked for a normal reset because of the amount of funds.
Mr. Nichols?
I don't have a problem with that, Your Honor. It's $3,203 in restitution. If she can get that at a reasonable time, it will be dismissed for restitution.
So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to give you 60 days. But that's to give you some extra time to try to come up with that money. If you can come up with it, great. If you can't, then at that point, I may look at some more time depending on the situation, but probably not. Probably at that point, if you don't have it, there's going to have to be some other routes taken. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and give you that extra time, but next time don't come in and ask for a whole bunch of more extra time because I typically don't do this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You're free to go. The pageant on Justin Living, Mr. Nickel, Mr. Living tested negative. Did you receive any other information or?
He's scheduled to be indicted. The case be presented to the grand jury today for violation of protective order, Your Honor. That's in connection with the pending misdemeanor trespass case.
So here's where I am, Mr. Living, based on all of the information that it looks like I'm receiving with the fact that you were out on bond and have been arrested now for several new violations and that there's a possible new indictment coming down today that has to do with a protective order. I'm going to find that you're at large without proper bond in cause number, the one that I have, which is 24 DCCR 0288. Find that you're at large without proper bond. That original bond was $5,000. I'm going to raise that bond to $50,000 today. Condition of that bond, if you make it, will be that you have a GPS monitoring device and follow all of and remain in Jefferson County, Texas. In cause number 24 DCCR 1100, I'm also going to find that you are at large without proper bond based on all of the information that has been given to me today. In that case, I'm going to raise your bond to $100,000. You'll also be required in that case to wear a GPS monitoring device and remain in Jefferson County, Texas. Have absolutely no contact or communication with the complainant that is in the emergency protective order. If you'll get that name to me so we can put it
I
in the
have it on my
conditions,
computer, Your Honor.
we'll add that. You know who it is, obviously. And so if you do make those bonds, you're to have absolutely no contact, no communication with that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? That means in person. That means through the telephone. That means through letters. That means through DMs, through Snapchats, through anything. Do you understand? Anything else? Other conditions, Mr. Nichols?
I understand that. I believe that'll be sufficient, Your Honor. Let me,
And Your Honor, my intentions are to file a motion to withdraw on 0288, but I'll present.
If you'll get that done, so that way we can get someone appointed while Mr. Living is in custody on all of the cases.
So I'll do it
Right.
immediately.
Your Honor, the complainant on that case that's going before the grand jury today, her first name is Verakesha. That's VERAKESHIA Hickman,
Okay.
HICKMAN.
So what's your relationship with Ms. Hickman?
That was my girl. We've been 3 years. We've been staying together. I got pictures. She beat.
So here's the thing.
No.
Let me just explain to you something. When there's a protective order, or today when there's a bond condition, and a judge tells you that you cannot have communication or contact with anybody, she can't give you permission to break that rule. So she can't say, it's okay, they'll never know. Come on over. It's fine. Because this is where it's going to get you. It's going to get you in there. And I have a feeling you were probably told that when you got the protective order. And I'm telling you today, it does not matter what she says. She's not going to prison potentially for now what looks like 3 felony offenses that you might have. You are. So you have to follow all of the rules. And if you want to stay out of prison, then you better follow all of those conditions. Do you understand? All right, you can go back with the bailiff.
Excuse me.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And thank you so much. Latrick Williams, Mr. Burbank, 23 DCCR 1801. That's the sentencing. Good morning. Are you Latrick Williams? And Mr. Williams was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the 3rd-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention. I've received a copy of the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes.
Defense has.
So I want to know what the status is of the other 3 evading arrest or detention cases. It looks like there's 2 misdemeanors that are set, and there's another felony that, what's that? What's going on?
I'm not aware of another felony, Judge, and it says pretrial conference. Is it a different county? Because it doesn't say what county it's in.
What do you see?
2 misdemeanor evadings.
Uh-huh.
Those are the only ones that I show. They're in county.
Do you
court,
show
too.
another felony, a second felony?
Nope, not in any other county. He says it's not. in
Or
any
is
other.
it 3rd?
Ma'am?
It looks like there's a 3rd one, misdemeanor.
So it's not a felony.
There's 3 misdemeanors. And they're all evading.
Do you represent him on those misdemeanors?
Just the one.
And it showed that they were set on the 17th, and that's already passed. Did you go to court last week or the week before? Speak up.
On Monday.
You went last Monday, and you have 3 down there in misdemeanor court. And so what'd y'all do last Monday on those? Just reset them, or do you have another court date?
Still, I believe it's August 5th.
Okay. Obviously, I'm looking at this because you're 18 years old and you have 4 cases where you've run from the cops, 1 in a car. And so obviously you keep doing what you're not supposed to be doing. And it gives me some concerns about this deal and whether or not you understand the seriousness of what you're doing out there when you're running from the cops. I mean, you're just making things worse, right? If I test you this morning, you're going to test positive for marijuana? Speak up. Probably. When's the last time you used? When I told you to stop? Judge Holmes told you to stop? When? Last Monday? So you didn't think you should stop before that when you came in here in my court?
I know, I did stop.
When's the last time you smoked marijuana? B,
I don't know.
you don't know?
But I know.
Has it been a week? Has it been a month?
Probably like 2 weeks.
Probably 2 weeks. So you've smoked since you came in here and pled guilty on this case. You were here in my court when you pled guilty about 6 weeks ago, about a month and a half ago. You're telling me you've smoked since then. Yeah. Are you working anywhere? You are? Where? What?
Liberty and Desmond. It's like that. I got the card, but it's in the car.
Okay. When did you start there? You start today. So you haven't started working yet. You worked.
I went there, I got a card and everything.
Did they test you out there? I mean, I guess obviously, y'all know what my concern is. I don't disagree necessarily with the probation, because I think obviously Mr. Williams needs that help. I'm just maybe concerned that maybe there needs to be something up front that gets his attention. Have a seat over in the jury box while I think about this for a minute. Sit right over there. So, my opinion on just based on what's been going on with Mr. Williams' age, again, this is 23 DCCR 1801. Mr. Williams has a 3rd-degree evading detention with a vehicle, 3 misdemeanors evading detentions. He has at least 5 different disposition type things as juvenile. The only way I'm going to follow this agreement is Mr. Williams is going to go to the substance abuse track of ISF today. Obviously, there's some help you need in making better decisions. I want you to have this deferred probation. The path you've been taking is just going to land you in prison if you don't stop and realize what you're doing. A lot of people think it's just marijuana. It's not that big of a deal. Just marijuana, because it's illegal in Texas, can send you to prison for 10 years in this case. And the fact that you're still doing it while you have this pending, to me, tells me there's an issue that you need more help with than me just sending you out there to keep running from the police and smoking dope and doing whatever it is you want to do. So conditions of probation are up to me. I'm still going to follow the agreement, but this is what we're going to do. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I'm not going to do that. I'm following the agreement and deferring all proceedings. You'll be on probation for 4 years. I'm going to reduce that fine to $250 based on his age. I'm going to order that you follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, and that includes entering and successfully completing the substance abuse track of the ISF program. That's a 90-day in custody inpatient program. You're going to go into custody today. You'll get sent there. It's 90 days. You need to take advantage of that. Don't just go sit through it and not let it get in your head. Learn from it. Otherwise, you're going to end up, from your past is showing that you're going to end up, it's just getting worse and worse and worse, right? It started off with some little stuff as a juvenile, some misdemeanor evadings. Now you're running with a car. It's just getting worse. So everybody wants you to be successful and live a regular life like the rest of us. But the only way you're going to do that is if you follow all of the rules. Okay. If you do all of that, this is a great opportunity because you don't have a felony conviction on your record. As an adult, having a felony conviction messes up your life in a ton of different ways. You can't vote, but you can't also go to certain schools. You can't live certain places. Most jobs are going to be off the table. And so it really, really makes your life a whole lot more difficult. And so you have an opportunity right now not to have that felony conviction. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation at all, you can be brought back in, convicted of the offense, so you become a convicted felon and sent to prison for anywhere between 2 and 10 years. Do you understand? All right. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you waived your right to appeal. Probation will talk to you after in just a few minutes, but you're going to go with the bailiff. Good luck to you. Take advantage of this, okay? Clause number 24 DCCR 0874. This is your initial appearance, and you're charged with theft of property with 2 or more previous convictions from March 17th of 2024. It looks like you've been previously convicted of theft 9 times. And then in addition to that, you were previously convicted of burglary of a motor vehicle in 2000, attempted possession of a deadly weapon in a penal institute in 2002, burglary of a building in 2003, forgery in 2003, another forgery in 2006, a criminal mischief in 2018, and a possession of a controlled substance in 2018. Since you've made bond in your case, have you had an opportunity to try to hire a lawyer?
I just buried my mom Wednesday, she passed away. And I get disability, mental health. And I'm gonna try to hire Mr. Rojas, but my mom's been on hospice and she just passed away. So
Do you have any proof of your, did you happen to bring any paperwork with regard to your disability and what you receive?
Can I get my pocket?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the deal, but I have my Medicaid card that would prove I would get disability.
What do you?
I just started getting in January of this year now.
How much do you receive?
I get $628. My mom just started charging me rent right before she had passed, so they were gonna give me $943 a month, which won't appear until August because this month's still gonna be for the 30th. This month will be $628.
How'd you make your bond?
My car that was that I had I had a loan, title loan on it. They sold it, and I used the money to bond out. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, just based on his criminal history, may the state inquire as to the level of that bond?
What was the bond? Do you know how much you paid? What was your bond?
My bond was $6,500.
All right, so Mr. Gentry.
We would have to ask the court to consider, at least. I know he has a lot of issues going on. But
Let's do this first. I'm going to get you tested this morning in court. I want to make sure there's nothing in your system, and then we'll go from there based on your criminal history rule.
I got a prescription for hydrocodone.
If you have a prescription for some,
and allopurinol, I'm not gonna lie to you. So
well, have a seat in the jury box. Let the tester know what you have prescriptions for and what we should expect to see, and then we'll go from there.
yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Zavaris Harrison. So you tested negative, which is obviously good, Mr. Harrison. Here's what I'm going to do, and I want to make sure you understand, because I know I already told you, but I'm going to make sure today you understand. I'm going to reset your case. I'm not accepting this plea agreement yet. You have to go to probation so that they can complete the pre-sentence report. If you don't do that, then when you come back, I can probably assure you I'm not going to accept a plea agreement. You'll end up in custody because that will be the only place that I'll know where you are for them to do the PSI. A lot of times when people don't show up for the PSI, I put them in custody automatically. So you're lucky you're not going today. You're going to stop on your way out of court today. You're going to talk to that lady sitting at that desk right there. She's with probation. She's going to tell you where to go, when to go there. And if you don't do all of that, then again, things are not going to go well when you come back. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Anything you don't understand about what's going on?
I had something I could just go into.
Take it.
We did talk about TSI, I think, but
I guess it was misunderstanding about the appointment, because he did bring the additional documentation that I was supposed to provide for the,
To-
he
for the-
brought it today.
Okay, so if you'll get that to probation, whatever you need to probation, is 4 weeks enough since they've already done most of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll reset you about 4 weeks. All right, stop and talk to her on the way out.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Okay, let's see, Ms. Collier, all right, good, you tested negative, so that's good. So let's see what we need to do then. Remind me again who you had talked to several already. Okay,
But I can't really afford anything right now. I'm not paying my bills or anything. My husband's paying for everything and supporting me.
okay. I'm gonna have you fill out some paperwork this morning to see if you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. It's important that you fill it out full accurately, completely. Don't just write zeros on everything.
Okay.
And then you're gonna swear under oath that it's all true and correct, and then I'll take a look at it in just a little bit.
Okay.
Step in front of the clerk, she'll give you that reset notice. Mr. Gentry,
I was in jail for 60-something days. And to come up with 6,500, my friend Marlon Riley, it took him a while to get me out because, you know, of the money situation, that was a high bond for me. And, you know, my mom had just passed and, you know, still trying to get everything settled, but, you know, she was poor on my flight risk.
well,
If she wasn't in the hospice, I was gonna just sign for time to get it over with, but she passed it. She was.
okay, all right, I got it. The bond is extremely low for your criminal history,
Yes, ma'am.
but I'm not gonna raise it today.
Yes, ma'am.
But I am, so what I'll do this morning, I'm gonna go ahead and appoint you an attorney, since you showed me the proof that you are on have the Medicaid, and I'll get you that information.
Can I ask you, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but on my phone, I think I got a screenshot where I get 628.
That's fine.
I'm
I'll
on
take,
it, but it's supposed to be 943 starting in August.
okay, I'm going to find that you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, and we're gonna give you that information on that lawyer this morning. It's
Yes.
very important that you follow all of the rules and conditions of
Yes.
probation. Obviously, if you test positive for anything, if you come to court and I test you, you're gonna be back in custody. If you are arrested for anything,
Yes, ma'am.
you're gonna be right back in custody. I just have a lot of concern, especially with the history of stealing. You,
Can I say something?
you probably shouldn't.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You need to follow the laws, follow the rules while this case is pending. Talk to your court-appointed attorney, and then we'll see where your case gets when we come back. Step in front of the clerk. She'll give you that information. Mr. Lewis, you tested negative. So what kind of center were you in getting treatment?
Singapore.
You were in Singapore in Austin?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you complete it?
Yes, ma'am.
You did? Do you have, did you go there on your own, or did another court send you?
No.
How long were you there?
60 days.
Okay, so it was the short, not the long, year-long program that Singapore used to have. Okay. Where do you live?
I'm currently homeless right now.
Are you living with your dad, or?
But I was staying in Austin, and I lost my spot out there, and I lost my job.
Okay. But does your dad live here in town?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're living with him?
Yes,
So you're not really homeless. You don't have your own home, but you're staying with your dad, right? Sir? So let me ask you this. Is he living, can he live with you or not? Okay. I mean, you don't have to. I'm just asking. So what I need you to do, Mr. Lewis, is try to find a job here locally, obviously, so that you can attempt to take care of yourself, your business, and your case, right? So I'm going to reset your case for about 30 days to give you some time to see what you can get done. Try to get a job first. Bring me proof that you've worked on getting a job, places you've applied, things like that. If you get a job, bring me something that you have that at your next court date. Go ahead and start talking to some lawyers also. Bring me the names, talk to at least 3. Even if you don't have the money to hire them, at least you'll know what it'll cost. If you do all of that and you still don't have a job and you can't afford one, then I'll consider giving you a court-appointed attorney. But I need you to follow all of those rules and try first, okay? Do you have any questions about any of that? All right. Step in front of the clerk. She'll give you a reset notice. Thomas Lewis. Good morning. You're Thomas Lewis. Mr. Lewis, this is your initial appearance in cause number 23 DCCR 2018. You're charged with a third-degree felony offense of assault on a public servant. And that's from September 30th of 2023. And since you've made bond in your case, have you had an opportunity to try to hire a lawyer?
My court-appointed lawyer was Alan Walker.
Mhm.
Walker, I haven't seen or heard from him.
Right. So once you bond out, I expect you to at least try to hire a lawyer. Are you working?
I was working, I was terminated when the marshals came and me from Austin.
Okay.
So I need like a document from you, so I need my job there.
What's my document supposed to say?
That he wasn't charged with anything.
But you are charged with something. You've got an indictment for assault on a public servant. So I can't give you something that says you're not charged with anything. So here's what I'll do. Mr. Lewis, I'm going to reset your case, just like I do everybody else's, for about 30 days to give you some time to first try to find a job. Yes. Mr. Lewis, if I test you this morning, you're gonna have something in your system? You're not? Let's double check that, okay? Have a seat over in the jury box. Raymond Adame, right, on Raymond Adame, that's 23 DCCR 0943. Bond will be forfeited for non-appearance and reset at 100,000. Zachary Bradshaw. Good morning. Are you Zachary Bradshaw? And Mr. Bradshaw, you're charged, if this is your initial appearance in cause number 24 DCCR 1148. You're charged with the second-degree felony offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon from February 23rd of 2024. Since you've made bond in your case, have you had an opportunity to try to hire a lawyer?
No, I asked for a court appointed.
Right. So what happens is once you make bond, I expect you to try to hire your own lawyer. So I'm going to reset your case for about 30 days to give you some time to see if you can get someone hired. If you get someone hired before the next court date, then bring the reset notice that you get today to that lawyer. They'll tell you what you need to do. If you're unable to hire someone before that next court date, then I'm ordering you to visit with at least 3 lawyers. They all charge different amounts. They have different payment plans. Bring me the names of the lawyers that you've talked to when you come back, so I know you're trying, and we'll discuss what your options are. If you don't do that, then when you come back, you run the risk of me raising your bond for not following that court order. Do you understand? If you'll step in front of the clerk, she'll give you a reset. Sula Hamden. Good morning. Are you Sula Hamden? And Mr. Hamden, did you get someone hired?
He went, I got the cards.
Hmm?
He went to both of them. This one right here, this one asked for too much, we couldn't afford it. This one I got an appointment with on July the 1st.
On July the 1st. And that's Gilmore, Mr. Gilmore or Mr. Gil? Mr. Gilthorpe? Okay. So do you think you're going to be able to get someone hired? Is your family helping you?
They're not working for them because my dad did surgery in a long time.
Because what?
Because my dad did surgery on his legs, he really can't stand right now. My mom has cancer, so nobody's really working. I'm looking for a job.
Okay. You haven't found a job yet. Are you still in school or no? How old are you?
I'm 17.
Okay. Where do you go to school?
Bowman Lane.
All right. So you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, and I think we might have talked about that before, but you wanted to have some time. Do you want me to appoint you an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Step in front of the clerk. She'll let you know that information. Good morning. Are you Jasmine Lewis? Miss Lewis, did you get anybody hired? Did you talk to, who'd you talk to? Speak up, please. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. David Joyston, and Michael Fall. Just simple, I do work full time. It's just that I'm single parent of 2 children. I don't have additional funds to or pay out. And as far as bond is concerned, my father made bond for me.
And they're not going to help you get a lawyer?
Mm.
Where do you work?
I'm a child care director at Nicklin.
At what?
Child care director at Nicklin Physical.
Okay. I'm going to have you fill out some paperwork this morning to see if you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. It's very important that you fill it out accurately and completely. You're going to swear under oath that it's all true and correct. So make sure you put what your income is, what any bills are, and then let the bailiff know when you have that finished. If you'll step in front of the clerk, she's going to give you that information.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Ashley Sias. Good morning, ma'am. You're Ashley Sias. And did you get anybody hired, Miss Sias?
A lot has happened since then. I wasn't able to. Last week was the only week I was able to do anything. That was my fault. I killed beat with the baseball bat. That was my thing. So we had a lot going on.
I'm sorry about that. So did you visit with some last week?
Yes,
or?
I did.
Okay. And are you working still?
I'm working, but it's not like every day because it's a cleaning service, so we have to wait till I get called to get a job. So,
Have you tried to find something that's a
yes,
little
ma'am,
more
I did.
steady?
Yes, ma'am.
Who all did you talk to?
I talked to Marsha Norman, Ken Lang, but he was too high. And, what's the, his name? Rock, I can't think of his name right now.
Mr. Kimler?
Yeah, he was kind of decent, but it was not one.
Okay. So do you think if I give you some more time, you'll be able to save up and get somebody hired? Here's what I'm gonna do. Since you did what I asked you to do, I'm gonna have you fill out some paperwork to see if you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. Make sure you fill it out accurately and completely. You're gonna swear under oath that it's all true and correct, and then I'll take a look at it. If you step in front of the clerk, she'll give you that information.